Hey there! We're only like a week and a half away from Thanksgiving, and I can't believe it's here. Well, welcome to my kitchen. I'm glad you're here. Turkey TV on Kittch. I am continuing on with the sides for Thanksgiving, and today we're making creamy mashed potatoes. And I realized I forgot to introduce myself. My name's Kristen Solorzano. I am the recipe developer and content creator behind What's the Frickin' Recipe? And I'm so excited you're in my kitchen because I have some tips, some tricks for the creamiest mashed potatoes to grace your Thanksgiving table. So let's just get into it, right? Let's just jump into it. Okay, for the fluffiest, creamiest mashed potatoes, you do want to go for a russet. If that's not your jam, you could absolutely use like a Yukon Gold. They just tend to be, they can get a little gummy if you overwork the potato. So just keep that in mind. So russet potato, I washed, scrubbed it with a little potato scrubber and washed this. And I'm just gonna peel it. The recipe is attached to this stream. The recipe, it's got, it'll make a lot of potatoes. So the recipe that's attached does use about 5 pounds of russet potatoes, which is, I got it right here. One of these bags right here, 5 pounds. Just get some help with, with cleaning the potatoes. It does serve about 10 to 12 people. So if you're having a lot of people over, that's perfect. If you're not, then just go ahead and scale down the recipe. I'm doing a scaled down version today just because there's 4 people in my family and there's no way that we're gonna finish 5 pounds of potatoes. But I mean, if you challenge me, maybe I'll try, but I'm not gonna do it today. All the steps are the same. It's just the quantities are going to change compared to what you're seeing on the stream today. All right. So that's what it looks like. I'm just going to give it a quick little rinse. Here we go. So with potatoes, I don't have a good example here. If the potatoes have like a deep eye and it's kind of hard to, just go ahead and scoop it out with your potato peeler. That way you end up with a super creamy and smooth mashed potato. So here we go. So like I said, I'm doing a scaled down version today. I'm just showing you the steps. Place the potato in the pot whole. You do not have to chop it. When you chop it, that gives it the water more opportunity to soak through the potato, and you kind of lose that creamy fluffiness when that happens. And always start with cold water, with the potato in the cold water. That's what I'm doing now. Filling our pot up with some cold water. And you want the water to just cover your potato like that. Let me get some, I want the water to go on my burner. There we go. And I have some kosher salt here. We want to kind of give it the pasta treatment in that we want to heavily salt our water. That way the water has a chance to kind of cook the potato, but also infuse it with that salty water. Here we go. And this goes on the burner, slightly covered, and we're gonna bring it to a boil, and then we're going to turn it down to like a medium once it starts to boil, and we're gonna still leave the lid a little cracked so the steam has an opportunity to escape. Because if you don't, it'll boil over. So you'll hear scorching sounds and you're just like, what's going on? That's what's going on. You covered your whole potato. Okay. So while the potato's going, you want to get your milk going, or your half and half, I should say. So I have some half and half here. Pour it into a small saucepan. And this is up to you. I do find I do like infusing the milk with some herbs and some garlic. So that's what I'm gonna do. I have like a little bunch of thyme from my garden that's still kind of kicking. Oh, I do want to recommend if when you're shopping for Thanksgiving, groceries these days, they're expensive. So I do recommend searching out the poultry blend of herbs. So then you'll get thyme, rosemary, and sage in just one same pack. You can get one or two of those and you'll be good for your Thanksgiving dinner. And you'll save yourself probably like 4, 5, 6, even $6 if you went ahead and bought each individual pack of herbs. Just search out the poultry blend. So then you get all of those same herbs, but at a more affordable price. So that's my little Monday tip for you. Okay. And then I'm just going to drop the thyme in there. And then I also have a clove of garlic, which I'm just going to kind of smash. Ooh, looks like this one's sprouting. Dang it. So if it is sprouting like this, I do suggest that you kind of get it out because it tends to be a little bit bitter. So I'm going to just toss that in. And by smashing it, it's opening up the opportunity for those oils to just seep into your milk, which will then seep into your potatoes and make them so delicious. Okay. So for the milk, we're going to put that on, we're going to kick it up to medium heat. And it only needs maybe like 5 minutes for that to seep, and then just turn off the burner so then it doesn't start scorching on you when you're moving and grooving, you're busy, you got other stuff going on. All right, I need to get this out of the way because we don't need it to mash potatoes. I'm going to keep it nearby, just knowing me. I'm so glad you're here. If you're comfortable, you can come up to the chef's table. We can chat Thanksgiving, what you're looking forward to. All right. I do want to mention, if you are doing a full 5 pounds of potatoes, you're going to want to cook it in something like a stock pot because that's a lot of potatoes. And if you don't have something like this, you could do 2 different pots, smaller pots. I just want you to try and avoid any spillage on your stove because it can happen because I've done it many times. All right. So I went ahead and did this ahead of time because the potatoes do take about 30, 35 minutes, depending on how large the potatoes are. Like these are some hefty babes. I got these from the Ann Arbor Farmers Market. So these are hefty babies. Okay. And you want to cook them so they're easily pierced with a knife. Just like that. And I'm going to drain these. There we go. In the sink. And we're gonna kind of show you how to mash them over a bowl. Okay, so ideally for creamy mashed potatoes, you want something called a ricer. I got this one for $8 from IKEA. It does make the creamiest mashed potatoes. I do suggest searching one out, but if you don't have one, I come up with different ways to use things. So I'll show you how to do it another way as well. But I'll show you the ricing process first. Oh, I'm gonna regret using my hands, but whoop, she did it anyways. All right, so what the ricer is gonna do Those are too big of potatoes. So you might have to cut the potatoes if they're huge. But the ricer, what it's going to do is it's going to push the potatoes through the hole. I'm trying to get like a good, but I had some extra water in there. It's not as easy as it looks to be talking and doing this correctly. So what this is going to do is it's going to mash, kind of rice the potatoes into the bowl. And my potato was a little larger, but that's okay. You may have to cut them. Here we go. See how it just pushes it right through the ricer, making the small, tiny little potato pieces. All right. It's kind of fun to play with. All right, but if a ricer is not something that you have or want to buy, that's cool. You probably already have something that you could use instead. And that is a colander. Yes, you could use a colander because you see those little holes? You see those little holes? It's the same damn thing, okay? Promise. So I'm going to, ooh, hot potato. So all you need to do is kind of just push it through the colander with a spatula or the back of like a wooden spoon. The spatula kind of lends a little bit more give to it, so you have like a little bit more opportunity to push it through, whereas a spoon, you're just kind of stuck with the one shape, if that makes sense. See how it's just coming out under the ends there? It does take a little bit longer to do this method, but you kind of just scoop down like that. Then honestly, if you're like, Kristen, I don't want to freaking do that, then don't. Your potatoes are still gonna turn out amazing. I'm not gonna make you, you know what I mean? There we go. See? So it does take a little bit more time, but that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my own advice. It works, it just takes more time. Use the ricer for the other one. There we go. See? It's $8, so if you could find one, it is nice to have. I've also seen it done, I believe it's a Swedish dessert. If they take vanilla ice cream and they put it through a ricer and then they top it with like a strawberry sauce, it almost looks like a spaghetti, but it's ice cream with strawberry sauce. There's a specific name for it. If anybody knows what it is, let me know, but I'm drawing a blank. But it looks delicious. All right, so let me see here. All right, so my other potato is boiling, so I'm going to turn it down to a medium, and I smell the milk already, that garlic and the thyme. Oh yeah. All right, now comes, to me, I think is like the most satisfying part, when the butter just like melts into all of those hot potatoes. I'm excited. Alrighty. So, trying to get some stuff cleared up here, so I'm not too overwhelmed. I do need my spatula back though. Alrighty. So I have our milk here. You see how it's kind of bubbling a little bit? Ooh, steam shot. Hold on, I got you. Oh, it went away. Let me just. There we go. So you do want to start off with the butter. And always start with softened butter. That way it really mixes in with the potatoes and makes it like the creamiest potatoes ever. There we go. This is just a couple of like large potatoes, so I'm just gonna do a small amount, but the 5 pound, I know it seems alarming, but please, the 2 sticks of butter is necessary. Just trust, okay? All right. So for the milk, you just want to do like a little bit at a time. I am gonna fish out the thyme and the garlic real quick. Do. I should say half and half because that's what we're using. Here we go. Just like a little bit. Mix it around till it's all nice and incorporated. It's already looking so creamy. Oh, baby. That looks so good. See how the butter just melted in and became one with the potatoes? Yes, that's what you want. I'm gonna do a little bit more. And then, even for like more creaminess, we're gonna add a little sour cream or creme fraiche. If you can find creme fraiche, highly recommend spending like the extra few dollars to get that if you can swing it. When I used to live in LA in like my early 20s, and at the time I was doing stand-up comedy, so I would work at a restaurant during the day. I used to work at the main flagship store of Tender Greens in Culver City next to like Sony Studios. And there I learned how to make the creamiest mashed potatoes. And we would make our own creme fraiche and we would add it to the mashed potatoes. And they're so good. So take a tip from Tender Greens, put the creme fraiche in your potatoes. I promise you will not regret it. So there you go. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to add salt. Definitely need salt. There we go. Ooh, baby. So creamy and delicious. You can add like white pepper if you want to. I do kind of like the plain vessel that this gives. Or even if you wanted to serve it like with just like a little black pepper cracked on top when you put it on the table. But look at that. So fluffy and creamy. Okay. We gotta try it. Let me get a plate. No. I'm getting better. You see that? It didn't take me 5 different tries. All right. Let's do just a little dollop. And then we're gonna do just like a little swoosh. Mm. We didn't even steep that garlic in the thyme for very long, but it's already here. I'm gonna do a little. Oh, yes. Then I'm just gonna take some chives. Optional. You don't have to add chives if you don't want to. There you go. Look at those creamy, beautiful potatoes. Mm. All right, I'm going in. So fluffy and creamy. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. It's so good. Mm. So delish. All right. So for service, when you are doing Thanksgiving, you can make these make it the morning of. Potatoes hold up very well. When you do make it, and say you can keep it on warm on the stove over a double boiler. Like you could take this bowl that you made your potatoes in and keep it warm over a stock pot filled with simmering water and put a lid on it. I do suggest putting an extra pad of butter on the top and even just like a little more half and half over the top as well. So then it kind of adds that like assurance policy that your potatoes will not get dry. It'll just get kind of stay moist. And you could also do the exact same thing in a crock pot on on a warm setting. Don't turn it on low or high. That's unnecessary. Just put it on the warm setting. So then kind of you're done. Forget about it. You have the butter and the milk on top. You're good to go. That's it. We made creamy, fluffy mashed potatoes. Super easy, super simple. And I'll be here all week. I'm streaming every day. So tomorrow I'm going to make my YouTube's most popular recipe, which is a little wild to say that is garlic roasted green beans of all things. But that's my most popular one on YouTube. And then the next day we're going to be making an easy apple tart, followed by cranberry sauce. And we're going to round out the end of the week with some Thanksgiving cocktails. So follow my channel here. I'm so glad that you were able to join me today for some creamy mashed potatoes. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, or you can DM me on social media. I am on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube under WTFIN recipe. So thanks for joining. I'll talk to you later, Kittch. Bye.